Politics, taxes, the NFL playoff format. There are things in life that are unfair and I can't change them. But to make things a little bit more fair for myself, I could follow a new philosophy. You screw me, I screw you. GameCloud Studios, you're a bunch of scammers. That's it. And you almost got me. You see, upon accepting a job as a game designer for GameCloud Studios, everything was fine. Then red flags started to go up little by little. Things got weird. Then things got really weird. So before we get to that, let's just go ahead and roll the intro. Come on, today. So this is the only thing that's related to some kind of legal document. I strongly hesitate to call it that, but it's the only thing I put my signature on. It says nothing about talking about things. Like, you know, when you work for a game studio, usually they say you can't talk about anything about the company. But GameCloud is like, oh, whatever. So I'll get around to picking that apart in a little bit. So I saw a posting on LinkedIn about a game design job with GameCloud Studios and said, yeah, I'll take a shot at it. So I applied. And one of the first things that I was asked by my dad, of course, was, are they a legitimate company? So I said, I don't know. Let me check out their website. They seem legit. I mean, you go to their website, it's got Summit Solitaire is available, and if you go down to these links, it'll actually take you to that game. And just to destroy this real quickly, where are they getting these numbers from? That's for these games? I mean, these games here, I mean, they don't even... There's no links. Even if it's a Facebook game like this is supposed to be, then you shouldn't it at least take me to there? Shouldn't it take me to Facebook? VR Soccer? Well, there's nothing on here, and I didn't notice this at the time, but there aren't any links, there aren't anything except for that one initial thing for Summit Solitaire. Like, there's literally nothing here that I can click on to take me to anything. I mean, there's nothing... How do I... No, see, it's just a picture. There's no links. So this website is obviously garbage. So then you go down here. Technical leadership in California blended with enterprise and expertise and scalability in Shanghai. So I noticed that the address here that they have, this one here is for them in California. But if you go ahead and you take this here, this is GameCloud Studios, the Shanghai branch, right? So you search for that, it only pops up on their website. Every other thing here says Augmentum. But this doesn't seem to say anything about GameCloud Studios. I mean, it's got a completely different thing here for Silicon Valley. That's not GameCloud Studios. So what is this? How are they related? Is this maybe the parent company keeping them alive? So their website's trash, but I didn't realize that at the time. I just kind of breezed through the game, said, hey, that all looks interesting. So yeah, they're legit. Oh, also notice that a couple of these here say they're in development and stuff. I mean, so you're telling me you have one game out there that I can play and you've been doing this for 8 years and I've been doing it for 4 and I have how many? Once again, that sounds legit. But here, it gets better. Let's go to the email trail. Alrighty, so this is the first thing he sends me. Hey, thank you for applying. You know, we reviewed it and we want to get you a screening. It's online through email correspondence. Like, okay, whatever. So it's today from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So it's right same day interview and you have to do it that day. And I have to contact senior recruiter Mr. Patrick Lonnie. Which is going to get weird later because he's the guy I'm working under, yet I'm supposed to be a game designer, not a recruiter. But we'll go ahead and get to that in a second. So I went ahead and I did that. So let's go down to Clark here. Hello, are you there? Do you receive my email? Well, nobody in America talks like that. So notice his email up here, GameCloudStudios@gmail.com. So I said, yeah, I emailed Patrick. So it gets better. So I went ahead and I scheduled that interview and told him that, you know, there was a typo on his own name in an email that was sent to me. So blah, 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 go on. Hey, these are the screening questions. Okay. So I went through it, and I mean, these are pretty pretty decent questions. You know, name, you know, why do you want to do this or that? You know, actually decent interview questions. But once again, it's not like a competency test. I mean, how can you tell if I'm competent to do the job from answering questions like that? So it gets better. So now we go down here, he's like, oh, thanks, I have your answers. I'm going to forward this thing to the hiring board for their decision. Okay, so once again, no competency test. You're just going to immediately recommend that I should be hired based on answering just a couple questions. It's kind of weird. Work from home. Hey, look at this. Fully remote. That's pretty good. Pay $45 an hour. Training is $20. Well, that sounds a little too nice. But you know, I've seen crazier things happen. So then he goes ahead, and it gets better. So they think I'd be a good fit. Blah blah blah. I'll receive my duties every day via email, and he'll be online to walk me through my tasks. 3 to 5 day online training via Skype. So I went ahead and I installed Skype at this point and figured out how to use it. Setting up my mini office. Sweet, you're going to pay for me to set up a mini office? That's pretty good. So we'll be doing things virtually, blah, blah, blah. Before you start work, you'll get a check, which will be used to, you know, to purchase the equipment from the office, or for my mini office. But it has to come from a specific vendor. They have their own, they're very picky about their vendor. And the reason why is, you'll see, I think they actually own the other vendor company, or they're in business with them. It has to be that. So it gets better. So first thing, before we get to the actual offer letter and pick that apart and tell why that's just a sham, this here has some inconsistencies here. So I was texting with Patrick here earlier on in the process. And here, actually let's zoom in on this here. Well, you know, I told you during the interview that company, not that our company, not that GameCloud, but that company has its own accredited vendor. So right there, grammar's all messed up. So you'll be receiving a check, receiving the check before tomorrow, and you will be provided a tracking number to track the check as soon as I receive it from the accounting department. Why are you giving me a tracking number for a check that you're going to be sending to me via email? None of that makes any sense. So this was another red flag. So I was like, okay, let's play along. So about these office supplies, I don't have room for furniture, and I don't want a Mac. Give me a PC. I hate Macs. You will be updated about that. Talk to you tomorrow. Have a lovely day. So, yeah, that seems a little unprofessional, but okay. So then we get to the part where they send me the check, but first, let's take a quick look at this employment offer. Before we get to the employment letter, lastly, you will be coming over to any of our local designated offices near you for an official meeting at a later time. The only office you have listed is in California. Which one is near Chicago? And not come over to one of our local, come over to any. So all of the ones in the Chicagoland area that don't exist, the date for this meeting will be decided after this prevailing situation. Right there, you could tell that something is just messed up. Nobody in America talks like that. Nobody, not even the United States of America, nobody in any of the American continents speak like that. During this first meeting, blah, blah, blah. So here you go. They give me this list of all this junk that they want to send me. Half of this I have no use for, but they're oddly specific about what computer they're going to buy you, down to what gigahertz the processor runs at, how much RAM it has. Okay, that's way too good to be true. First, how are you going to ship me high-speed internet access? This here would have been a must. I would not have accepted the job even if it was legit, if it did not have a stress ball. So now we go down here. So don't destroy any of their equipment. It still doesn't say anything about me, you know, putting this online and calling you out. So now here we have Fuzzy Gertie's free rate. Who is this guy? Now we have an email from somebody else. Who are these people, and why is it coming from HR GameCloud at mail.com? Not Gmail, Not like AOL.com, that would even be better, or Yahoo, but at mail.com. Let's open this. This is where things get fun. There are so many things wrong about this. I mean, by signing this letter agreement, you are confirmed to the company that you have no contractual obligations to other places. Also, then you have this here. I'll initially report to Mr. Patrick Lonnie. Okay, no job title given here, but you told me before as a senior recruiter. So why is a game designer reporting to a senior recruiter? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. And also, services to the company. They say this multiple times throughout, but they don't have any of that legal jargon up front that says, you know, when we say the company, we mean GameCloud Studios, blah, blah, blah. Nothing about that. So let's go on, because it gets better. $45 salary per hour. $45 is an hourly rate. It has nothing to do with salary. It's completely hourly and salary are different. This is also pretty. We offer 6 primary types of insurance: health, dental, vision, term life insurance. Okay, those 4 are okay. Employee wellness and paid time off. PTO and employee wellness aren't types of insurance, you idiots. What are you, stupid? Stock options. I didn't even bother with this. That's going to be garbage anyways. Basically, you can quit anytime I want for any reason, and they can fire me anytime I want for any reason, which can actually come in handy later, because if you go all the way down to the bottom here, I have to return this letter by the end of the business day on the 6th, and then I have to start working for them by the 8th. So if I don't get scammed right away, if I delay their scam, then technically I'd be fired. Or even if they were to scam me, when the equipment wouldn't show up, they can say, okay, well, we just fired you actually. So they're rushing the process, just trying to pull off their stupid little scam. And also, I mean, once again, we just saw this came from Gerties, or whatever it is, even though Clark Seidel was supposed to be the HR guy. But this here was apparently written by Brad Schlachter, the Chief Marketing Officer. Wait, why would my employment letter come from marketing and not HR? Oh wait, maybe Brad is Clyde? Wait, who's Patrick? I don't know, without video chat, I can't tell who's really who. When I was going to talk with Patrick, he said that I don't have to have. It says right over here. Ha, actually I lied, it's not in the chat, it's over here in this email. You have to be on Hangout now. Not Hangouts, Hangout. So at this point, as you can tell, I'm sleeping because I work at 3 p.m. Okay, so I got back to him when I get to work. Yeah, I received the email. I tried to reset my Hangouts password and been locked out because he wanted to chat. So I said, well, Skype works, so do some kind of video chat like every other company wants. He says, no, we can also chat here. So nothing to do with webcams, so they don't want me to see who they are, because I'd be able to tell that they're not who they say they are. And if I were to talk to them on the phone, you know, if they're foreign and they have an accent with the way this grammar is going, they probably wouldn't be able to hold a professional conversation. So that right there is even more, a little sketchier. So we'll go back here to the actual check. This is where the stuff gets interesting, because you know what? Out of all of this so far, guess what? It gets better. And this is pretty much, so this email chain is pretty much going to be the icing on the cake. I mean, they worked hard to get this far, but yeah, now it's just over the top sketchy. Hi Frank, how are you doing today? Also, regarding the check, you will have to deposit it via your mobile app because it's an e-check. So you have to do mobile deposit. That's weird. I can't just like get an actual check in the mail, go to PNC and cash it? Oh, okay. That's weird. All you have to do is print out the check on a paper check. So, okay, wait. So basically what they mean here is just print the check out. And then you could take a picture of the front and back of the check to make a mobile deposit. Front and back of the check. Okay, I've seen people do it before, and you need to have the back because you have to sign it and check the little checkbox that says it's a mobile deposit. The company on the check has been the most valuable company subsidiaries we have been dealing with, and I can rest assure you that everything is fine with the check. Okay, grammar? Grammar much? Okay, that's just a weird way. And why are you telling me that there's another company on the check? So they put my name for the check, but then I open it up and see it's from Rabuten Thai. So who is that, first off? And secondly, David Renard? Who the hell's that? My name's Frank Lubeck, not David Renard. And then you're going to send him, I thought it was like maybe like, initially like 100, 200 bucks, just a basic office supplies. And then I saw that computer in there and I was like, okay, that's a little weird. I didn't expect it to be almost $5,000. So also, there is no back to this check. It's literally just the front with a current pay date. Okay, well that was hard to pull off. You probably just took one of your employees' checks and did that. Hell, that guy probably doesn't even exist, David Bernard. You know, it's... So I tell him, hey, the front side of the check prints fine, and, you know, I'll get back to you. So over here, just as a heads up, I told Patrick about it. I'm just waiting on HR's email. He said, you will be receiving a new check on Saturday, right? So I said, okay, thank you. That's it, 3:57 p.m. So when I tell Clark about this, or Gertie's, Fuzzy Gertie's, or Brad Schlockta, or whoever on earth is this email is coming from, I mean, they want me to believe it's Clyde. So I go down here. This is sketchy. This is like a dead giveaway to this game. Can you take care of the vendor's payment from your savings and the equipment will be delivered to you tomorrow? But Patrick just told me yesterday that we were going to talk about not having certain junk shipped to me. I don't have room for your stupid desk. I have my own desk. But everything is ready to be delivered to me tomorrow. All I have to do is pay them today. So you want me to pay like the $5,000? What do you think, I'm stupid? So it gets even better. So I'm like, okay, now I know you're messing with me, so I'm going to mess with you back. Like, actually, I can't. I have 800 bucks in my account, and I still have bills to pay. I would need the check deposited first. Sorry for the inconvenience. So I said 800 bucks. Now, I said I still have to pay a few bills, and that's true. It's over 800 in bills I have to pay, but that's me a problem. So then he gets back to me and says, the vendor said they will deliver the equipment to your house address at local post. So is it the local post office or is it to my house address? But you have to pay a payment of $500 to the vendor Cash App. So if I do that, I'm never going to see that money again. So basically, this here is the 8th. So if I pay them their money, the furniture gets delivered on the 9th. And I can't start working for them until after that. So technically, they would take my money, or give it to the vendor, which I'm assuming is, you know, related to their company, whichever scammers these people actually are. So technically on the 9th then, they take my money and they don't deliver the furniture because it doesn't exist and they're scamming me. And then if I were to inquire about it, they could say, well, you didn't start working for us by the 8th. You waited till the 9th to start. Well, then I'm fired and there's nothing I can do about it. So of course I just said, sounds good. I have to wait to deposit the check that Mr. Lonnie says will arrive Saturday in order to do so. No communication since then. They have not sent me a check, but you know what? It gets a tiny bit better. So when I told, what's his face here? So I told Patrick about it. I'm just waiting on the HR email because he says, oh, here, you'll get a new one on Saturday. Then it's literally copied and pasted from over here. Look at this and look at this. It's the exact same thing. Down here, it even says sent using the mobile mail app. Like, you couldn't at least take care to copy that out like this? Copy. Look, it's not that hard, and it's a dead giveaway still. So that makes me think, or makes me wonder. So we have Clark Seidel, we have Fuzzy Gertie's, we have Brad Schlockton, we have Patrick Lonnie. But as far as I can tell, without being able to do video chat and stuff, this could all be one person. The real question is, which person is it? You know, at this point, it could be friggin' Santa Claus for all I know. Another reason it's confusing to know who's who is because of all the different email addresses they use. And if you look at this one here, so hr.GameCloud Studios, Inc. It's not even studios. And again, it doesn't come from a Gmail, it comes from mail. Then you have GameCloud Studios e@gmail.com, but that's also Clark. Or is that Fuzzy? Or is it Santa Claus? Nobody really knows. But you know what? We can kind of try to figure out who these people are. If we go like this and just simply go to LinkedIn, Patrick Lonnie. Oh, hey. Look at this. He's a senior, this is him. He's a senior director at hotel operations at Caruso, which is located in California. Wait, so he works for a hotel? But then it also says he's the president of some other company. He used to do all this other stuff. Okay. Give him the benefit of a doubt, I guess. Just a little weird why you don't list anything to do with GameCloud or anything to do with game development. I'm going to go over here to Mr. Seidel, who's actually not doing anything over there. He's actually in Atlanta. And if you look at his experience, he's the vice president of something at Transwestern. He's on some board over here in Atlanta. He's on another board. He's on the board of directors for this. At least he lists GameCloud, but still, who is this guy? I mean, commercial real estate? And if you look, he also has recommendations and things from this other company he works for. He works for Seidel Companies. And look, Scott Seidel, CEO. Oh, giving him a good review. Thanks, Dad. Or Uncle. Or, once again, who are these people? So let me go to Glassdoor, and we actually log in this time, and go down to GameCloud Studios reviews. Sort by most recent. Most recent review is from 2017, but look, 2017, 2017, 2017, 2017. Just a couple from 16, very few and far between. It seems like they're all pretty much posted at the same time. That's a little weird, and a little weird how a lot of these people haven't even worked there a year. But then again, you go back, and it seems like a lot of the ones in 2015, October 8th, I mean, they're all in tight time frames, and they're all over the place. A lot of them are saying they're good and stuff, but then if you look at the most recent one, I mean, I worked as a gameplay, I was laid off since they didn't have funding, so maybe at one point they were a legit company and weren't scamming people, but then they decided to do it because maybe they lost their funding from their Chinese parent company? I don't know. Of course, you go down here and all the positive reviews, yeah, they weirdly happen all at the same time. Yeah, well, thank you for pointing that out to me. I noticed that after I read that. You should read all the negative reviews because those ones are true. So, GameCloud Studios. Not a good place to work. Not good people to do business with. Avoid them and their employees at all costs. So I have 7 tips that I put on this screen. It actually should be 8, and I'll get to that when we get there. So first, take your time and don't rush. If you're going through for a job, make sure that you do everything correctly. I have had an employer drop the ball on me, and then I turned around and screwed up paperwork for them trying to rush, and that ended up killing a like $71,000 a year job. So I'm still stuck where I'm stuck at. Read all documents carefully for logical flaws and or severe grammar issues. If there's something that really seems off, don't be afraid to question it. Just make sure everything is, legit. Also, check all origin email addresses for accuracy and consistency. Make sure that it makes sense where the email is coming from. If you're got one company's name that you're applying to and the recruiter sends you something and they're from a completely different company's email address, there might be something a little fishy going on. And this is where I'd like to insert another bullet point, or another tip I should say, and actually do thorough research into the employer before accepting anything. Don't just go to their website and look at it. Go there and click on things. Copy and paste things into search engines. Try to make sure things are legit instead of just taking things at face value. Also, almost every reasonably reputable employer, now not all of them, there's got to be 1 or 2 exceptions, but a vast majority will require not only like a competency test of some sort, but also a phone or video call interview. They want to see you and talk to you, and you want to see them and talk to them. So, I mean, that only makes sense. If you're just doing it through emails and chat, that's sketchy. No matter how reasonable things sound initially, if they start seeming too good to be true, they probably are. The exceptions are very rare. It's kind of self-explanatory. You know, it starts out with, you know, you want a job as a game designer, sure. Then I'm going to make $45 an hour. Well, that's a little sketchy. Oh, and you're going to give me furniture and a brand new computer. And after 12 to 14 weeks, I can keep it? Yeah, that's no. If it seems fishy, swim on. Now, I probably could have just done that and cut ties, but I actually ended up asking Patrick, since he didn't get back to me, how the hotel operations industry is going and how it's been impacted by COVID. I'm just curious. And lastly, speak up and share. The more people who are aware of what's going on in these kind of traps, as I'll call them, the less people that'll fall into those traps, hopefully. And of course, on that note, you know, please post this video wherever you think it's necessary and share it with anybody who you think might benefit from seeing it. So lastly, I'd like to say thank you to GameCloud Studios for trying to scam me. You know, I gave my 2-week notice and I'll have to probably take a pay cut to work in a warehouse, so if anybody has an open computer job, I'm ready for hiring. Thank you for watching.